There were some agenda items, such as the presentation on trauma-informed practices, that I do not see on today's agenda. I'm curious if it's going to be rescheduled.
Both reports are being rescheduled. We actually took them off of this agenda because we did have 2 IDT schedules and we didn't think we'd have the time to fully engage in those discussions. So you'll see them on the future agenda.
Okay, thanks.
And just so everyone knows, the IDT's canceled. They will resolve that soon.
Okay.
Do we have any other questions on today's agenda?
I move
Is there a second?
And
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, 1 opposition, trustee McCarthy and everybody else. 3, so agenda item passes. Let's move to the consent agenda. Is there a motion?
I have a question.
Yes.
Is it possible to find out what is the opposition of board member McCarthy? Because I'd like to know whether it's just one discussion item, which may happen all the time because it may not be appearing in future agendas, or
We've already moved past that item on this agenda now. Does the board want to go back and re-entertain that motion and more question, or do we want to bring it up next time around?
maybe next time in the interest of time.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
Thank you.
You know what I might suggest, if I may, my experience on other boards are that it is naturally assumed and required clarity as to which item you are opposing. So it may be a practice that will help us further refine where we are and move on if we do that and request that of our fellow colleagues.
Thank you, trustee. Perhaps we can get some clarification on that in writing, if there's anything in writing on that, and then we can entertain that discussion next month. For our attorney, is there any Robert Rules of Order comment on clarification of your decision when you vote on the agenda, whether it's passing or not? Do you have to justify or not?
No, the member doesn't have to justify. I think they may. It's within the scope of the agenda item. And just if I could make a friendly amendment to your request, President Robinson, if we do get anything in writing regarding the reasons for opposing the agenda, it would be helpful if that were sent to Vicki or to John Lenz directly so that we could just ensure we don't have an inadvertent Brown Act violation. And then we can put that on your agenda for discussion.
I would like a point of order. This is all a violation of the Brown Act. Matter is already passed. All this discussion is a violation of that.
I actually have a question. Is it necessary for the board to approve the agenda?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
To do business. Okay, wow. Some discussion already. Now we're back to the consent agenda. Do we want to make a motion?
I move. I second.
Okay, all those in favor of passing item 2, today's consent agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
I abstain.
And there's 1 abstention, trustee McCarthy, but it passes almost unanimously with 1 abstention. Okay, now we're looking at superintendent of schools reports. Superintendent Carroll.
Thank you very much. So I have some very good news. I'm going to hand this over to Dr. Lisa Miller. The Marin County Office of Education has received a grant from the Board of Supervisors, Marin County Board of Supervisors, supporting 25 families with legal counsel around immigration. And Dr. Miller will inform us more about that grant and our gratitude to the Board of Supervisors.
Yeah, good afternoon, board members. So we applied for a grant with the Board of Supervisors with an organization called Immigration Legal Defense, ILD. They are an organization that had been already established in the Oakland School District. They're up in Sebastopol, they're in West Contra Costa, and they actually are also serving College at Marin. And their entire focus is to provide pro bono legal services for families that are facing any challenges and issues with their immigration status. So we applied for a grant with ILD in the fall to the Board of Supervisors. We were awarded that grant. That grant has funded 1 full-time lawyer to be with our families primarily in San Rafael City Schools, Novato School District, and has supported Marin's Community School. Additionally, those families have been brought to our attention who are experiencing any legal issues with their immigration status, even if that's in Shoreline, South Marin, the ILD lawyer will support them as well. Marin has very few immigration specific lawyers, so the fact that we were able to get this grant and have one full-time lawyer dedicated to families that are connected to our education was a great success. And so far, our lawyer has now supported about 28 families who have been caught up in the system, and hoping to continue this into next year. The grant started January 1, so we are funded through the end of December.
Where does the organization that gave the grant get the money from?
The Board of Supervisors,
Really? Wow.
yeah, the Board of Supervisors had set aside $500,000 out of their budget for supports and services to in Marin County, all for immigration support. And this grant that we were awarded was $250,000 of that $500,000.
And that's specifically for families of students in the school, whatever school district.
That's right. The lawyer will only be connected to the family if we have proof that the student is enrolled in one of our districts and their family member is being impacted by immigration legal services or immigration services.
Good question. I understood the legal aid of Marin did a lot of immigration work. You said that there weren't many attorneys in the community that do that, but legal aid of Marin, I know, and I'm a member of the Marin County Bar Association, does a lot of work for immigration issues.
Yeah, was there a question?
Yeah, well, weren't they an opportunity for individuals who were impacted to go to legal aid of Marin versus getting a special grant for Marin County Office of Education? I'm trying to determine why that would have been even necessary, because what I understood is that they really represent a lot of families facing immigration issues.
Yeah, you're correct. Legal Aid of Marin is one of the local entities that does provide legal services to families. There's also a lawyer in our public defender's office, and Canal Alliance also offers some support. However, across those entities, the support is not always with an actual lawyer. It might be with other staff that are trained to help families work through some of the paperwork. But in terms of actually being a lawyer that goes through the judicial process with the family, that number in Marin, as of last June, when we started doing collaborative work with those entities, I believe we only had 4 trained lawyers in Marin that specialized in immigration legal services.
And what exactly are those legal services? Because I would imagine there are a lot of people who are capable of assisting and getting you through the process. But what are the lawyers actually doing? Are they actually going into immigration court?
Yes,
So that's primarily what they do, is they represent families in immigration court.
that's right.
And those are the families of the children who are children in the San Rafael, Nevada school district.
That's correct.
And is it for the children they're doing it, for themselves? How is that working? Is it just because the child is facing an immigration or deportation or whatever the issue is? Or is it the parent that is facing it?
Yeah, I appreciate that question. It is for an immediate family member of the student. It may be the student, or it may be the parent or a sibling, but it is an immediate family member or the student that is facing immigration.
And what is an immediate family member?
Parent, sibling. For some, it actually is an aunt, somebody that they're living with. They reside in the same home.
Okay, are there any other questions? That was a good conversation back and forth, but I just wanted to support the Board of Supervisors, because whenever the Board of Supervisors, I would assume, gives a grant, one of the most important things that you have to offer in your grant is the determination of need. And I'm assuming that that was a big discussion in the grant, and that there was a determination of need. And that's what the supervisors went off of when they awarded the County Office of Education the grant. So having been a grant writer myself, I understand that process quite well. let's move on. Any further?
More reports. I handed it to. Yeah, I'm not sure if this is a reminder on news, but there's no board meeting in July. There will be a retreat instead. I've met with the board president and also with Cindy to discuss the retreat. The president has decided the retreat will focus on best practices and effective governance, followed by board evaluation and goal setting. President Robinson will share more details as they become available. The Lagunitas superintendent has decided to retire. She came out of retirement to be the part-time superintendent at Lagunitas, and anytime a position like that goes vacant in Marin, I'd like to let everybody know about that. She's done great work, and Lagunitas I've met with their board president, and they're trying to come up with a plan for what's coming up next in the future on that. Brief update on some of our early work in the early childhood education space. Part of the support that we provided for early childhood education is classroom visits to strengthen the connection between preschool to transitional kindergarten. There have been collaborative transitional meetings, preschool teachers with TK teachers and families to meet to share developmental data. This strengthens connections between preschool and elementary staff while making the transition more personal and supportive. Student benefits are building communication, getting an idea of what the next grade will look like, inquiry and self-regulation. This reduces anxiety, creates a sense of belonging, and supports smoother, more successful entry into transitional kindergarten and kindergarten. One of the interesting parts of this was centering student voice. It included student-led interviews where preschoolers were able to ask their upcoming TK teachers questions about kindergarten, and some of those questions were awesome. So, somehow they didn't get into my notes, but they were like, do you have a bathroom? Do you get to have lunch? Tanya, do you have any others that popped out?
Do the big kids like to play with us? Will our moms come back? There was a lot of interest in what color the swings were. And so the teacher went back and did a preview of all the swings and let them know how many swings were red, because that was the most favorite color.
Excellent. Thank you for that. Student voice is very important. And actually, it's easy to be sort of cavalier and like, oh, aren't they cute? But I think it's very important to listen to what little kids have to say. It's a real experience for them. And those are actual real questions. And that can tell us what we need to do to prepare ourselves for their entry into the next grade. And I think that's true for all grade levels, but to hear it from them, there's just something that feels really fun about that.
Doesn't that remind you of Art Linkletter's show? What was that? Funny things kids do.
Now it's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, a few other happy awards. The Golden Bell Awards are coming up, as you know, on May 21st. I believe it's a Thursday. Correct me if I'm wrong, anyone? 21st, great. Teacher of the Year is going to be Dana Boren-Swisher from Neil Cummins in Larkspur. Classified employee is Diane McGinnis, who's the office manager at Miller Creek. Trustee of the Year is Wandine Trainer from Marin Community College District. And Educator of the Year is Tenia Chima, who's the principal at Loma Verde in Nevada Unified. And I don't have the name of this person who was recently identified as the California State Classified Employee of the Year from Marin County.
Ross Valley School District.
Ross Valley School District, their tech support person. It's a huge honor because every district nominates someone to have one of our own. I wish I had his name, but this just happened. But I'm going to be doing a meet and greet there later this week and celebrate. I'll get you his name. So I'm sorry I didn't have it written down. That happened between the last meeting, which didn't happen in this meeting. So that is all I have for my report. Thanks.
Thanks, Superintendent.
Could I just respectfully request something from the requirement?
You have a question. It cannot be a big question. A clarifying statement.
Oh, wait.
Let's get on. Item 3402, quarterly report on William June complaints. That's Deputy Superintendent. Thank you.
Hello and good evening. There are no reports on Williams reports this quarter.
Okay, it's music to our ears. And now we have the quarterly item 3.03 quarterly report and notice of surplus property. This is Assistant Superintendent Adam Jennings.
Good afternoon. I'm here to offer the quarterly report regarding surplus property from the MCOE. In the board packet, we have outlined the identified surplus property and have followed all existing policies for offering this property to all public schools, districts, and community college districts in Marin County. All remaining property will be disposed of by our maintenance and operations staff, consistent with our governing policies.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any questions on the surplus? Yes.
I've asked before, I just need to be reminded again, because I noticed a lot of the things on the list this time were computers. So I'd love to know more about how much of what we offer actually does get taken by school districts or the nonprofits or the people they get offered to, especially when it's, well, just in general, with the computers, do most of them actually get taken?
Generally, no. At that point, they are technology that is outdated, and so therefore, ultimately, a lot of it is e-waste that we recycle. There are things. So, for instance, in this particular report, one of the main things that was taken is there's a lift, an auto lift that's there towards the bottom of the list, and that one actually will be taken by San Rafael City Schools. And so sometimes, and again, it depends on the items, but I would say for the most part. A lot of it is recycled and disposed of.
Okay.
And that's the general theme of every time we see the surplus.
Yeah.
That's generally going.
Yeah, it's mostly going away.
Okay, any other?
I'll talk to you privately, I guess, about my other questions.
Yeah, anytime. Let's have a chat.
I know there are some nonprofits, I think, that would really like some of the computers that you said were outdated, but a lot of people don't consider them outdated.
Okay.
And I have some thoughts, but I can share them with you.
Well, yeah, let's connect sooner than later because we haven't recycled those things yet. So they're surplus now, and so they're now available.
Okay, thank you.
Sure, great, thank you.
Okay, great. Any other questions on the surplus? We don't need action on that. So now let's go to action items. 4.01, resolution number 1091, Employee Appreciation Month. County Superintendent of Schools, John Phillip.
Yes, I think this resolution speaks for itself. This is our annual resolution by which we honor all of the employees of the County Office of Educational, people who work on behalf of our kids. And I think hopefully we'll had a moment to look it over.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Move approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. And this is not a roll call vote. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Seeing none, any abstentions? Unanimous passage of item 4.01. Let's go on to number.
Now, I will say that we will have an upcoming employee appreciation event where we will share that with our employees, and they'll be happy to hear that the board voted in favor of that resolution.
Thanks for the resolution. Now we're moving on to items 5, the Marin County Board of Education reports. Reports from board members and items introduced by board members. Are there any reports? Okay, the trustee Hanson has a report.
So just a couple of notes from the Association for California County Boards of Education. I've mentioned before they hold webinars last month. There was a really good one that, if you're interested, it's in their archive on the LCAP and questions that county boards should consider as we go through the LCAP process. Tomorrow night at 7:00, they're hosting a session on whole child supports, again, with a specific focus on county boards and specifically understanding the new state laws as it relates to student well-being and ways that counties can support, provide additional supports to their districts. And Wednesday, May 6th, this one's at noon, there'll be a session on county office budget basics and oversight. I thought you'd be happy to hear that. Again, you can go to accbe.org. They have a fairly easy to navigate website where you can see previous webinars. If you can't make it, you can sign up for upcoming ones. I highly recommend it as either a refresher if you've been on the board for a while, or if you're relatively new, like I am, learning about best practices. And that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you, trustee. Any other reports? Trustee Marilyn, you have a report?
Yes. I like my title.
Trustee Rob?
Yes. Yes, this is the Marin County School Boards Association. On March 31st, that was a Tuesday night here, we had our presentation on the Brown Act. And it was a training by Kathy Miola, who's a lawyer who just does this all the time. And she was really, I thought it was not hugely well attended, and we're working on getting more people to come to these, but it was so good. She made it extremely relevant. I've been to a lot of Brown Act trainings. This one was very relevant to people with a lot of examples, a lot of really good questions that she had surprising answers to. And as long as I've been on the board and I think I know all the rules, I just keep learning. So I strongly recommend the trainings that MCSBA offers. They're choosing really good people. Also, just to reiterate what John told you, on May 21st is the Golden Bell celebration. If you haven't ever been to it, you must go. And if you have been to it, you probably will go again, because it's a lot of fun and very, very uplifting. And it makes you really, really proud to be involved here. It's great. Thank you.
Okay, great, thanks, Marilyn. Are there any other board reports from trustees? Seeing none, we're looking.
Wait, Nancy, do you want to do the efficiency and effectiveness report? Because you attended last time.
I did attend last time, and I will say that I would recommend all board members to participate, because the information that comes out of it by just a few comments at the board does not do justice to the details provided, particularly with respect to special education and to the special education programs, what's going on with them, how they're working out. And it really does give you a much better understanding of exactly what is required for the special education program and students. We've had a presentation on it and basically what an IEP is, but to understand how they focus on a wide spectrum of special needs, from small OT matters to major disabilities, is particularly interesting and gives you an understanding of the actual federal government's mandate that these kinds of programs take place in the school, and the amount of time and effort that needs to be put into them. So I would commend to any of you, if you are interested in listening to these reports, you will find them very informative.
Thank you. Any other comments or board reports? Seeing none, let's go on to adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Seeing none? Meeting adjourned. Thank you guys for this meeting. Appreciate it.